I'm literally sliding to the side.
You must have lost a gear, dropped the gear or something.
For the amount you have to spend to get the gold out of the ground, it pulls so much out. It's so cost effective.
Hey there, have you noticed small but concerning changes in someone you love? Maybe they've been losing weight, feeling more tired than usual, or just not acting like themselves. It's easy to brush these things off as normal aging, but the truth is, the body often gives quiet warnings long before someone reaches their final stage of life. A lot of people think death happens suddenly. One day, a person is fine, and the next, they're gone. But in reality, for many, the body starts to slow down months, sometimes even a year, before passing. The problem is that these early signs can be subtle. They're not dramatic changes that demand immediate attention, so they go unnoticed. And by the time families realize what's happening, it can feel like it's too late to prepare or make the most of the time left. That's why it's so important to recognize these warning signs early. When you do, you can provide better care, make thoughtful decisions, and most importantly, create meaningful moments with your loved one while you still can. In this video, we are going to talk about 5 key signs that often appear a year before an elderly person passes away. Some of these may be things you have noticed but overlooked due to aging. Others may be changes that seem small but actually reflect a slow decline in the body. Recognizing these signs early gives you the chance to provide better care, enjoy meaningful moments, and most importantly, ensure that your loved one's final stage of life is filled with comfort, dignity, and peace. Stay tuned as these 5 signs can help you prepare for what's coming, both emotionally and practically. You won't be shocked when you understand what's happening. You'll be able to make the most of the time you have left with your loved one. Let's get started now. In this video, we're going to talk about 5 key signs that often appear in the last year of life. Some of them might be things you've already noticed, but didn't think much of. Others might surprise you. Either way, understanding them can help you be there for your loved one in the best way possible. So stick with me until the end, because this information could make all the difference in how you support and cherish the time you have left with someone you love. One of the first things you might notice in a loved one is weight loss, sometimes a little at first, but over time it becomes more obvious. Their clothes might start to hang loosely, their face may look thinner, or their hands might seem more bony. The surprising part? They're not even trying to lose weight. This can be concerning, and the natural reaction is to encourage them to eat more. But sometimes, no matter how much you try, they just don't have the appetite they used to. They might pick at their food, leave meals unfinished, or say they're full after just a few bites. And it's not because they're being difficult. There's often something deeper going on inside the body. There are a few reasons why this happens. As people get closer to the final stage of life, their digestive system starts to slow down. The body isn't absorbing nutrients as well as before, which leads to muscle loss and weakness. Certain chronic illnesses like cancer or heart failure can also cause weight loss, even when someone is eating normally. And sometimes it's emotional, depression, stress, or simply the natural aging process can take away a person's desire to eat. Now, I know it's heartbreaking to watch someone lose weight like this. Families often try everything, making favorite meals, offering snacks throughout the day, even encouraging them to eat just a little more. But here's something important to understand. Sometimes, the body is preparing for a transition. It's not rejecting food on purpose, it's just working differently than before. Instead of pushing big meals, focus on comfort. Offer easy-to-eat foods like soups, soft fruits, or small portions of their favorite dishes. Keep them hydrated with water, teas, or juices. Most importantly, don't make mealtime stressful. Let them eat what they enjoy, in amounts that feel right for them. At the end of the day, it's not about forcing food. It's about making sure they feel comfortable, cared for, and supported in whatever way they need. Have you noticed a loved one feeling tired all the time, even after a full night's sleep? Maybe they used to be active, but now even small tasks like getting out of bed, walking to the kitchen, or holding a conversation leave them exhausted. You might think they just need more rest, but sometimes, no matter how much they sleep, the fatigue doesn't go away. This kind of deep, ongoing tiredness isn't just normal tiredness, it's the body slowing down. As the body prepares for its final stage, it starts prioritizing essential functions like keeping the heart beating and the lungs working. That means less energy is available for everyday movements, talking, or even eating. The muscles become weaker, and simple tasks that used to be effortless start feeling like a heavy burden. You might also notice that they spend more time sitting or lying down. Walking to the bathroom might take twice as long, and getting dressed could feel like a big effort. They may even start to withdraw from conversations, not because they don't want to talk, but because even speaking takes energy they no longer have. Social events or visits from family might become overwhelming, and they may prefer quiet, peaceful moments instead. It's natural to want to encourage them to move more, to get up and stay active. But instead of pushing them to do things their body isn't up for, the best thing you can do is focus on comfort. Offer a helping hand when they need it, but also respect when they just want to rest. Small adjustments can make a big difference. Help them find a comfortable chair or bed position. Bring them a cozy blanket, or just sit with them so they don't feel alone. And most importantly, be patient. Even if they can't join in conversations as much, your presence alone brings them comfort. At this stage, energy is precious. Instead of trying to bring them back to their old activity levels, shift your focus to making sure they feel safe, supported, and at peace. Sometimes, just knowing they're not alone is the greatest comfort of all. Have you noticed a loved one becoming more forgetful or confused? Maybe they forget familiar names, repeat the same stories, or seem lost in places they've known for years. At first, it might seem like simple absent-mindedness, but over time, you realize it's happening more often. They may struggle to follow conversations, mix up details, or even ask the same question multiple times without remembering they already asked. This happens because the brain isn't getting as much blood and oxygen as it used to, making it harder to process information. It's not just about memory. It affects how they think, react, and even how they experience time. Some moments may feel clear to them, while others are foggy. You might notice they get overwhelmed easily, taking longer to respond or seeming unsure of what's happening around them. It's not just confusion, though. Many people also start withdrawing emotionally. They may talk less, avoid eye contact, or seem uninterested in things they used to enjoy. Social interactions take effort, and as their energy fades, even simple conversations can feel exhausting. Some people become more anxious or frustrated because they're aware something is changing but can't fully understand why. Others may seem distant, as if they're slowly retreating into their own world. If you notice this happening, try not to correct them too much. Telling them they just said something already, or reminding them they're forgetting things might only frustrate or upset them. Instead, meet them where they are. If they think it's morning when it's actually evening, that's okay. There's no need to argue. If they forget a name, gently remind them or just move the conversation along. The goal isn't to bring them back to reality, but to make them feel safe and comfortable in the moment. Simple things can help. Sitting with them, speaking calmly, and offering reassurance when they seem lost or overwhelmed. Even if they don't respond much, Your presence is still comforting. These changes can be hard to see, but they don't mean your loved one is gone. They're still here, still feeling, still needing love. The best thing you can do is be patient, kind, and present, even when words start to fade. Sometimes just holding their hand is enough to remind them they're not alone. Have you noticed a loved one getting sick more often or taking much longer to recover from small cuts and bruises? Maybe they catch colds more easily, develop infections frequently, or a simple scratch stays red and swollen for weeks. These changes can be subtle at first, but over time, they become more noticeable. This happens because, as the body ages or weakens, the immune system doesn't work as well as it once did. It has a harder time fighting off bacteria, viruses, and other infections. You may notice common illnesses like pneumonia, urinary tract infections, or skin infections happening more often. Even oral infections, like gum disease or sores in the mouth, can appear and take longer to heal. What used to be a minor issue now becomes a bigger challenge. It's not just infections. Wounds and bruises also heal much more slowly. A small scrape that used to heal in a few days might take weeks now. The skin may become thinner and more fragile, making it easier to bruise or tear. This is because the body isn't repairing itself as quickly as before. Circulation slows down, and the cells responsible for healing just don't work as efficiently. When you see these changes, the natural reaction is to turn to medicine and treatments. And while medical care is important, there's more to think about. Instead of just focusing on curing infections, it's just as important to keep them comfortable and prevent issues before they start. Hydration is key. Drinking enough water helps the body function better and can even lower the risk of infections like urinary tract infections. Good nutrition is also important. Foods rich in vitamins and protein can help support healing, even in small amounts. Skincare matters too. Dry, fragile skin is more prone to cuts and infections. Using gentle moisturizers, keeping their skin clean, and checking for any wounds or redness regularly can make a big difference. If they're spending more time in bed, shifting their position every so often can help prevent bed sores, which are painful and can easily get infected. Stress also plays a big role. When someone is feeling anxious or uncomfortable, it can weaken their body even more. A calm and comforting environment helps. Soft blankets, a peaceful atmosphere, and just being there for them can reduce stress and help their body fight infections better. Instead of worrying about why they're getting sick so often, focus on what you can do to keep them comfortable. Help them drink water, keep their skin clean and moisturized, and offer soft, nourishing foods. Small changes like these can make a huge difference in how they feel. At this stage, it's not just about fighting illnesses, it's about making sure they feel safe, loved, and cared for. Sometimes a gentle touch on the hand or a soothing voice does more healing than any medicine can. They may not always say it, but your care means everything. Have you noticed a loved one's breathing changing? Maybe it's becoming slower, shallower, or even irregular. Sometimes they may take deep, quick breaths and then suddenly stop for a few seconds before starting again. This pattern is called Cheney-Stokes breathing, and while it might seem alarming, it's actually a common sign that the body is slowing down. Breathing changes like this happen because the body isn't working as efficiently as before. The lungs may not be able to take in as much oxygen, and circulation starts to weaken. This can make even small movements, like sitting up or walking a few steps, feel exhausting. You might notice them becoming short of breath more easily, even when they're just resting. Another change that happens is in their circulation. Since the heart isn't pumping blood as strongly as before, areas like the hands, feet, nose, and ears may start feeling cold to the touch. Sometimes, the skin in these areas can even take on a bluish or purplish tint. This isn't necessarily painful for them, but it's a sign that the body is prioritizing blood flow to the most essential organs, like the heart and brain. Lying flat might become uncomfortable too. If fluid builds up in the lungs, it can make breathing even harder. They might prefer sitting upright or propping themselves up with pillows to make it easier to breathe. You may also notice them coughing more or feeling like they need to clear their throat often. At this stage, the focus should be on keeping them as comfortable as possible. Small adjustments can make a big difference. Keeping the air in the room cool and fresh can help them breathe a little easier. A fan, open window, or even a gentle breeze can make them feel more at ease. Pillows can be a great help, too. If lying flat is difficult, try raising their head and upper body with extra pillows. Sometimes, sitting in a reclined position is more comfortable than lying all the way down. Let them find the position that feels best for them. Moisture is also important. Dry mouth and throat irritation can make breathing feel even harder. Offering small sips of water, ice chips, or even using a cool, damp cloth on their lips can bring relief. A humidifier in the room can help keep the air from becoming too dry. Most importantly, be there for them. Even if they don't have the energy to talk much, your presence can be comforting. A gentle touch on their hand, soft words, or just sitting quietly with them can ease anxiety and help them feel safe. These changes in breathing and circulation can be unsettling to witness, but they are part of the body's natural process. Instead of worrying about fixing them, the best thing you can do is focus on comfort, ease, and peace. In these moments, your care and kindness mean everything. Final thoughts: a time for love, comfort, and meaning. If you've noticed changes in a loved one, weight loss, extreme fatigue, confusion, frequent infections, or difficulty breathing, you may feel worried, overwhelmed, or even helpless. It's natural to want to fight these changes, to encourage them to eat more, rest less, or stay active. But sometimes, the body is simply following its own path, preparing for a transition that we cannot control. What we can control is how we respond. Instead of focusing on fixing what's happening, the most important thing we can do is offer love, comfort, and dignity. These final months, or even a year, are not just about decline. They are about making the most of the time we have left with someone we cherish. Recognizing the signs. Understanding these signs doesn't mean giving up. It means being prepared. It means shifting from trying to cure to trying to comfort. If someone is losing weight and has little appetite, forcing large meals won't help, but offering their favorite foods in small portions can bring joy. If they are tired and weak, pushing them to move more won't work, but sitting with them, holding their hand, and simply being present can bring peace. When confusion sets in, it can be frustrating to see them forget names or repeat themselves. But instead of correcting them, meeting them with patience and kindness helps them feel safe. If infections are becoming more frequent and healing takes longer, medical care is important, but so is gentle skin care, hydration, and a stress-free environment. And when breathing changes make them uncomfortable, small adjustments like a fan, pillows, and soothing words can make all the difference. Making every moment count. This time is not about sadness alone. It is about connection. Even if they are quieter, withdrawn, or physically weaker, their heart still feels love, and their spirit still responds to warmth and kindness. A shared smile, an old story, soft music, or even just sitting together in silence can be deeply meaningful. It's also a time for patience. They may not have the energy for long conversations, but your presence is enough. They may not be able to do the things they once loved, but they can still experience joy in small ways. A gentle touch, a familiar scent, or the sound of a loved one's voice. A time for peace. Watching someone we love go through these changes is never easy, but remembering that this is a natural process can help. Instead of fighting against it, we can focus on making their journey as peaceful and comfortable as possible. Love, patience, and simple acts of kindness matter more than anything else. No matter how difficult this time may feel, remember that you are giving them the greatest gift: your love, your presence, and the reassurance that they are not alone. And in the end, that is what truly matters. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share something you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts matter to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us motivation and encouragement. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating valuable content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.